So now I'm going to be working on a good piece of paper in portrait mode or vertical, and I've also put an eye level line across the middle of the paper. This will line up with the eye level line on my template. I'm moving my template over just a little bit, and I'm going to lay in the proportion marks for the largest of the figures. I like to put my figures with the largest and the medium one on the two sides of the paper and the smallest one in the middle. This gives a better composition generally, so that's what I recommend. Now I'll move my template over and place the medium size figure on the other side of the paper, making sure I have enough room to draw the figure. So again, I'm marking those proportional marks that I made on the template, so now I have a pretty good sense of where everything in my figure is going to go. And lastly, I'm going to move my template over and place the smallest figure. I'm placing it a little closer to the largest figure, not right in the middle. Again, having a little variety in terms of the space between your objects is a way to create more visual interest. So once again, I am marking those areas. And once I get that done, I can remove my template and I'll have my marks. So my next step is going to be to lay in the basic shapes of the figures. Remember, I don't want to start with trying to get a lot of detail. First thing I want to do is get the proportions correct. So I'm speeding this part up. But you can see I'm laying things in very generally. And these figures are posed. So one thing I want to make sure is I'm not making the limbs too long or too short. And I use those little arced lines to help me figure out where the legs should stop. Another thing you can do actually is, since this figure is the same size as the figure that we made last week, you can take those little pieces of tracing paper and use them to help you get the proportion of the legs in terms of their length, and same with the arms. So again, I'm using very basic shapes here. I'm not trying to fill in the detail yet. That'll come later. Now I'll go over to my second figure, pretty much the same thing. You want to be careful as you work that you're paying attention to the proportion, because if these figures are not in proportion, the illusion of depth will not work as well. I just jumped right to the end. I'm not done with these figures yet, but I'm pretty close to done with their layout. Now what I need to do is add in that atmospheric perspective to make them look more like they're in deep space.